Students, today we will start a new chapter, that is force and pressure. Before starting with the force, we should be clear about few terms here which we are going to use in this chapter. So first is the rigid body. A rigid body is a body which is not going to change its shape or size on application of the force. In another term, if the intermolecular spacing does not change on application of force, then that body is a rigid body. But in actual, we don't have any perfectly rigid body. All the bodies which we are having in our nature are going to deform up to some extent. Second is a non-rigid body. If the intermolecular spacing changes, it means the particle is coming closer or moving far apart, then that body is said to be a non-rigid body. Basically, non-rigid bodies are elastic in nature. Third, rest. A body is said to be in state of rest if it does not changes its position with respect to its surrounding. For example, this notebook is lying on a table and it is not changing its position with respect to the surrounding. So this notebook is said to be in state of rest. Fourth, motion. A body changes its position with respect to the surrounding. A car is moving, so it is changing its position with respect to the surrounding, or a person standing outside on the road, then that car is said to be in state of motion. And motion are relative terms. How? Let us take an example for this. Now let us consider two passengers are sitting in a moving bus and a third one is standing outside on a roadside. Let us consider this is the third person standing outside and these two passengers are sitting in a moving bus. So what we will say, are these two in the state of rest or in motion? We can't say until or unless we will decide the frame of reference. So we will say that these two passengers sitting in a moving bus are in state of rest with respect to one another. They are not changing their position with respect to one another, but at that same time these two are in state of motion also, but with respect to the third person standing outside the bus. So in this way we will say that these two are in state of motion with respect to this person and these two are in state of rest with respect to one another. So in this way we can say that rest and motion are relative terms. Now we will start with the main topic, that is the force. Force is basically a cause which we cannot see but we can feel its effect. So it is either a push or a pull which results in change in its state of rest or motion, change in its state of direction, change in its dimension, change in its speed if it is already in motion. So on application of the force, we can have either one effect, two effect, or all of the four effects in the body. So but on application of the force, we cannot change the mass of the body. Now, point to be noted here that force does not change the mass of the body. If we are applying a force on a body, this body, the mass is not going to be changed. The mass remains the same, whether we are applying the force or not. Right? Now, force is a vector quantity also. What do you mean by this vector quantity? Let us study a little bit about this. All the physical quantities which we are having are divided into two categories. First is a vector quantity, second is a scalar quantity. Vector quantities are the quantities which are having two things. First, magnitude, and second, direction. Scalar are having only one thing, that is magnitude only. They don't have any direction. So how we are going to represent these? Vectors are represented by putting an arrow over the symbol of the physical quantity. For example, as I told you, force is a vector quantity. Force is represented by symbol capital F. So here force is represented by capital F and we will put an arrow over the symbol. It is showing that force is having some direction. Another example is acceleration, represented by small a and arrow over it. I'll tell you later this acceleration. Now, symbol for the scalar quantities, we simply represent these scalar quantities by their symbol. For example, time is a scalar quantity, distance is a scalar quantity. So by their symbol only we are going to represent. No arrow is there. Now come to this acceleration. Acceleration is basically what? You must have heard from your parents while driving with them that there is an accelerator pedal in the cars. So what we are going to change with that pedal? We are going to change the speed of the car. I'm using the word velocity here. Why? Because we are having a direction with the speed. So which is known as the velocity. So you can define a velocity. Speed with direction is known as velocity. Right? So change in velocity. So I can use this word that we are changing the velocity with that pedal in a particular direction. So acceleration is basically change in velocity per unit time, and with respect to time we are changing, of course. So acceleration is change in velocity per unit time. So we are having a formula for the force that is equal to mass into acceleration. Now if we are known to the formula, then we can derive its SI unit also. How we are going to derive? We are having the formula here. So let us simplify the formula here. Then we will get the SI unit. Right. Force is equals to mass into acceleration. Acceleration, I told you, change in velocity per unit time. So mass, now the change in velocity results in a velocity only. If you are subtracting two things, like if you are subtracting 2 times, the answer is also a time. So in the same way, if we are subtracting two velocities, answer is a velocity itself. Unit remain the same there. So I have written only one velocity here. That is the result of this subtraction, right? So F is equals to, now velocity is what? Velocity is simple, speed with direction. So I can write the speed formula here, distance upon time divided by time. Now write down the SI units, right? That is, mass is measured in kg for SI system, distance is measured in meter for SI system, and time is in second. So we are with the SI unit of force, and this quantity is known as Newton, as this is given by the scientist Newton. So 1 Newton is equals to 1 kg meter per second square. You can define 1 Newton also here. 1 Newton is defined as the force which, when applied on a moving body of mass 1 kg, because 1 Newton we are defining, so we have to take 1 kg velocity 1 meter per second, right? Change 1 kg in the direction of its motion increases its speed by 1 meter in 1 second. In the same way, we can derive its CGS unit also. Now in CGS system, mass is measured in gram, distance is measured in centimeter, and time itself in second, right? So this quantity, gram centimeter per second square, is known as dyne. So we are having two units here, SI unit Newton, CGS unit dyne, and in the fundamental unit they can be written in this form. Newton can be written in this form, right? Now we know that Earth is going to attract everything towards itself, right? So this is going to attract with some force which is known as the force of attraction or the gravitational force of Earth. So if the gravitational force is acting on a body having some mass, then that is become equal to weight of the body. What does it mean? Weight is basically represented by symbol W, and it is equal to mass into gravitational force, right? So whenever gravity is acting on a mass, then it will become the weight of the body, and it is different at different places on earth, because gravity is not same all over the earth. Gravity changes from equator to pole. That's why our weight is also going to change. If we will measure our weight on equator and then we will measure our weight on poles, both the weights are going to be different from one another, because change in the gravity is there. So we have one more unit here for the force. We have read SI unit, we have read CGS unit. Now one more unit is there, that is known as the gravitational unit of the force. This is the gravitational unit of force, which is equal to 1 kgf here, kgf. So 1 kgf basically approximately equal to 10 Newton, but it is exactly equal to 9.8 Newton, because the value of the g is fixed here, that is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. It is acceleration due to gravity, right? Acceleration is having unit meter per second square. That's why we have written 9.8 meter per second square. You need to learn these values. So 1 kgf we can define here as the force of gravity. 1 kgf defined as the force of gravity on a body of mass 1 kg. This is known as the 1 kgf. This much we have to cover in this video. Thank you so much.